I'm a paranoid person. I suppose it's my fault, seeing as I started listening to crime podcasts a couple of years back. I can't even count the number of times I'd heard a story where something terrible happened to the protagonist because of some mistake they made. I don't know if it was luck or something else, but most of the stories I'd stumbled upon had this one thing in common. They each took a dark turn when the criminal entered the house through the main door. Sometimes, it's because the victim couldn't see whoever was standing at their door. This is what prompted me to install a doorbell camera. It's not that I live in a bad neighborhood, I just couldn't feel safe without one. About 3 days after the camera's installment, I found something on my doorstep. It was 2 black feathers tied together at the stems with a white string. I was baffled. Was this supposed to be a prank? I checked the camera's footage and saw something even more baffling. At 2 a.m., someone ran to my front door. They then bent down and ran off in the direction they came from. The person was wearing a hoodie and face mask, so I couldn't identify them. I decided to let it go, as they didn't do anything horrible. By the following day, I'd already forgotten about the incident. But then I found another pair of black feathers bound by a white string. I checked the footage, and sure enough, it was the same person. This time, I spotted something that could help me identify the stranger. When they turned to run away, I saw a familiar logo on the back of the hoodie. It was for a high school lacrosse team. This high school was very close to my neighborhood. I had this one neighbor who had recently graduated from that school. His name was Daryl. We weren't friends, but I'd seen him wear that hoodie several times before. I wanted to ask Daryl why he left those feathers on my doorstep. I wasn't mad, I just wanted to know why he did it. However, that had to wait. By then, Daryl's family had already left for vacation, and I didn't have their contact information, so all I could do was wait until they returned. I proceeded with my day as usual until nightfall. I was watching TV in my living room when I smelled something awful. For context, my kitchen was next to the living room. The 2 areas shared one big room. I figured that it was time to take out the trash, so I did. But when I re-entered my house, the smell was still there. I checked my fridge, thinking that something went bad. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything there either. I was looking around for the source when I got a notification on my phone. My doorbell camera detected movement. I opened the app and gasped when I saw what was outside. A hideous figure stood at my door. It looked like a hairless primate with tusks and horns. It was making a sound that was like a combination of heavy breathing and growling. I stood there, trying to process what I was looking at. Suddenly, the creature went silent and slowly turned its head to face the camera. The monster spoke in a language that I couldn't identify. When it finished, it paused for a moment before getting angry. The creature then started banging on the door, screaming something in its language. I ran into the bathroom and locked the door before calling the police. For obvious reasons, I didn't say anything about a monster. Instead, I told the cops that some crazy man was trying to break into my house. About 3 minutes later, the cops arrived. The police didn't see the monster when they reached my house. I played back the footage to show them what I saw, but to my dismay, the footage was nothing but static. The police searched my house and didn't find any intruders. It wasn't until after the police left that I realized something. That horrible smell was gone. Needless to say, I didn't get any sleep that night. About 24 hours later, the same thing happened. And just like last time, the video showed nothing but static. The police recommended that I stay with friends or family until the criminal was caught. I stayed with a friend who lived near the police station. Thankfully, The thing that terrorized me never came to my friend's house. A few days had passed, and the house got a visitor. It was Daryl. He asked my friend to speak with me alone. She agreed and offered the patio for us to have our conversation. "He came to you, didn't he?" Daryl asked. He explained that the thing I saw was an ancient spirit that haunted my house. Every year for a week, the entity terrorizes my home at night. Apparently, the previous owner had a quarrel with some practitioner of dark magic. The person then cursed the house, where the creature tormented him. This went on for years until the previous owner finally moved away. I don't know what happened to the person responsible for the curse, but they didn't remove it for some reason. By the time all this happened, I lived in that house for only 8 months. Plus, the real estate agent didn't tell me anything about the house's history. Daryl learned about the monster through his uncle who studied the occult. When I moved in, he taught Daryl to make a talisman that could ward off the creature. That talisman was the feathers left on my doorstep. Daryl apologized for not telling me everything. I forgave Daryl and even thanked him for helping me. After that, I got another talisman from Daryl. For the rest of the week, I left the feathers on my doorstep at night. I never saw the monster again. I don't think it was meant to hurt me. Based on what Daryl told me, it just wanted to scare me. In any case, I'm grateful that a neighbor had my back. Daryl, if you're hearing this, thank you.